Hello and welcome to TM and iGIP Synergy.
So today we're making a video for you to explain the brand new TM and iGIP Synergy strategy. It was presented at the LDS functional track, but for those of you who weren't there, we wanted to show it to you again so you all know exactly how to implement the synergy in your LCs.
Yes, and for all the iGIP members, you should be aware that in October we released the iGIP Evolution sales cycle. Now this is the same cycle, but what we've done is we've evolved it to include TM to help drive iGIP operations in our local committees. So at LDS, we presented the new strategy to you guys. And like Grace said, we're going to go through it now to make sure that you guys have all of the necessary information to implement it in your LCs.
Alongside the iGIP sales cycle, we have now created a TM cycle that for every week supports iGIP. So we will now run through what happens every week in the sales cycle and what TM will be doing in the meantime to support.
Alright guys, so now if you look into week 1 for iGIP, what we're going to be doing is focusing on member development. So now this is the week when your LCVP is going to check in with your NSD coach. So we have 3 NSD coaches now, and you all have been allocated a coach. So we have myself, Delilah, and Bonnie. And this is the week when we can help you guys find the bottlenecks within your sales pipeline. So whether that be prospecting, closing, or maybe account delivery, this is the week when you can have those conversations. This is also the week in when you find those bottlenecks to support it through iGIP training sessions. So these training sessions should be built at fixing the bottlenecks within your LC. And lastly, you want to be focusing on your LCVP, coaching the members to ensure that these skills are refined. So the aim of this entire week is refining those sales skills to ensure that when we get to sales week later on in the process, we have the necessary skills to close deals.
In TM, in the first week, this is understanding. So all the VPTMs have been added to the Podio workspace called National LC Sales Tracking. And this is probably a new platform for all of you. So it's really important that you have a look through, you understand all the apps, and you understand how to filter for the information that you'll be needing, such as number of meetings and contracts. Then, it's also important to understand the iGIP situation in your LC. So organise a meeting with your VP, really get to know what happened last term in iGIP, what the goals are and what the key bottlenecks are in your LC at the moment so you can make an action plan together. Then, finally, set goals for what you want your LC to achieve by the end of the sales cycle. Goals should be set for every point, so for example, number of meetings to be booked, number of cold calls to be made, and number of follow-ups to be done at the end of the week.
Now moving into week 2, this is all about preparation for the sales week, which is the next week after week 2. So this is the week when we're going to be profiling companies that we want to contact. So this is doing the initial research to find the companies within your market that you want to contact to sell global talent to. So this is when you look at your subproduct and you look within companies that fit within your subproduct that you're selling. You want to focus on company size, you want to focus on opportunities available within the company, and you want to ensure that you find the right contact person within the company to contact. This is also a week when you can send out your initial emails. If you want to use the strategy when you send out an email first and then follow up via phone call on that email that you had sent to the company, this is the week where you want to send those emails. And lastly, you want to do a sales team meeting. This is gathering your entire iGIP team to ensure that you communicate the goals that you had set in the previous week with your VPTM and ensure that everyone in your team understands what is required of them to reach these goals. You want to make sure that everyone has the right number of goals, so knowing how many companies they should be contacting and how many meetings are they expected to book in sales week. This whole aim of the week is preparing for sales week and ensuring that your team are all on the same page to ensure success for sales week.
At the same time, TM also needs to be preparing for sales week. So first of all, this involves creating a tracking system, so you make sure you know how to track all of your members in the course of meeting the goals you set last week. You also need to start launching the sales week hype in your LC so that you can really build the sales culture. So do things like make a big official announcement in your LC sessions, run an activity on what will be happening, and do lots of posts about what's going to be happening on your Facebook pages to make sure that everyone in the LC is excited for sales to happen. If you have a large iGIP team or your whole LC is doing sales week, then this is a good time to split them up into different teams so you can drive competition as well. And if you have a TM team, assign one TM member per iGIP team so that they can do the individual tracking for a smaller group of members each. Finally, create an R&R scheme based on the goals that you set in the previous week and make sure that you assign bigger rewards to the behaviours you want to drive. So for example, if you do a lot of cold calls but you don't do enough follow-ups and therefore don't get enough meetings, make sure your really big prizes are attached to the number of follow-ups that people do, as this is what will incentivize your members more.
And the next week that we're going to be moving into is Sales Week. So everyone should understand what Sales Week is, and we still run it currently. So we're actually in Sales Week currently, and this is the week when we are going to be driving the most amount of sales in our LCs. So that way we don't burn out our members. We are condensing all of the sales that we do within our LC and new sales to this week. So this is the week when you guys want to be doing cold calling, emailing, and also doing a lot of pushing for contacting the companies that you profiled in the previous week. This is also a week when you can start hunting for networking events. That way you can really drive prospecting on the ground in your market. Every month you should be aiming to get every iGIP member to book one meeting within the month. And this is the perfect week to drive that because you'll have the majority of your team doing sales. You should also try to do your cold calling sessions within a group because it's easier to do sales when you're together within a team, and it's harder to do sales when you're individual. This is also a great time to involve your TM team to help those members who are very shy and nervous to do cold calling. So this is what Grace can talk about in the next week.
So in Sales Week, this is when TM can do a lot of excitement building. So first of all, organise a big calling party. We've already seen a few of these happening on Facebook in different LCs, which is really great. So what you can do, aside from booking rooms, is really take ownership of the event. Make sure that you've got your sales tracking table up in the room when you have the cold calling party. Buy snacks and have prizes all ready for you to run the cold calling session and get people excited. It's also important to do live tracking. So you as a TM member do not need to be making cold calls during a calling party. You need to be monitoring how the members are doing during the session. So make sure you're looking at everyone. You can track on a table in front of all the people when calls are being made so that you can really build excitement and reward people as and when they do things, as this really helps to build people's confidence. Also make sure that everyone celebrates when a meeting is booked, as again, this is really exciting. You can also update the whole LC by putting posts of your tracker that you have for your members on your local Facebook pages. This is exactly the same as what we do in the MC office when we want to track what's happening in the LCs and post things on Facebook. So make sure that you also build a lot of hype to get people excited for the final week, which is when follow-ups happen. As we all know that this is when most of our meetings and contracts come in. It's really, really important, and you want to make sure that you can make sure the sales culture and hype continues for the final week of the sales cycle.
And the final week of the sales cycle is follow-up week. So for your iGIP team, you really need to focus on following up. So this is going to involve attending any booked meetings that your members have booked within the previous week. Also, you want to start following up with all those prospects that you have contacted via email, via phone call. I would say a good time to follow up is within 7 days after you've contacted them. Once you've passed 7 days, then the follow-up is going a little bit cold. You also want to start negotiating any contracts that you're in conversations with, and you really want to start pushing to close some deals. This is also a great week to focus on account management. If you're fortunate to have an LC partner, this is a great week to start sending some love towards them. And lastly, you want to push your iGIP members to really follow up with every single sale that they have made throughout the month. You want to ensure that at the end of the month, you're doing a full review of all the companies that you've contacted to ensure that the communication is fluid, and that way we're focusing on customer care.
And finally, for TM, in follow-up week, you need to make sure that all the meetings that were booked in Sales Week are logged on Podio, otherwise they're not recognised by AIESEC UK and they won't count towards your LC. You also need to be tracking all the follow-ups that happen from Sales Week using Podio to make sure that your members are following up and are still trying to get more meetings at the end of the cycle. Again, we recommend that you book a meeting with your VP iGIP and together you sit down to evaluate the performance of every iGIP member during Sales Week. Not only does this help you to identify your top sellers in your LC, but it also helps you understand which members need more training and who needs to have a bit more confidence building. You can also ask the iGIP members to reflect on their sales week and get them to give you feedback on how to make it better next time round. And finally, don't forget to do your R&R. Give out all the rewards you created for the different things you assigned and for the goals that have been met, and to make sure your whole LC really feels excited and celebrates together. Organise a big social to happen right at the end of the cycle.
So that's the end of the sales cycle. It's a 4-week continuous cycle that happens every single month. The most important week within the sales cycle is sales week because that is the foundation that builds up this cycle. We've already asked each LC when they're going to be hosting your February sales week and your March sales week. We've already announced to the national plenary which weeks those will be occurring on. So now is a great time to start planning out with your TM team how you guys are going to support the TM and iGIP synergy strategy within your LC. And this is also a great time to start thinking about how you guys are going to be running your April sales week.
So now you understand exactly how to implement TM and iGIP synergy in your LCs. Excitingly, every single LC has entered some of their members into Britain Juniors Sellers. So watch the next video that me and David have created to understand how we'll be including TM in the Britain Juniors Sellers rewards and how you can make sure your LC gets recognised for the synergy that you have created. That's all from us. Bye!